Peace, power, and prosperity to all the real ones. Good day to all, whatever day it is that you're watching this video. Welcome back to Truth Be Told, the Paige Malaya Show. I am your Highness, Paige Malaya, and I'm here to inspire you to go higher. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about my birth stories. Emphasis on the most recent one, which was my third pregnancy and my third birth. I'm just going to give like brief stories on the first two prior to number 3, which is my favorite number. And yes, it was the best birth that I've ever had. Okay. Point blank period. And I did that shit. Okay. I did that shit. Y'all gonna see. But anyways, so yes, if you're new, welcome. My name again is Paige Malaya. And I am just trying to remain in divine alignment with my divine assignment and inspiring others to enlighten themselves, enlighten themselves, okay, to love themselves, but also to empower you and encourage you. And also, truth be told, there will be no lies told. So this is my life, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? So let's get into it. Let me turn my phone off because I'm a bit distracted. So birth number 3, I had what you would call, well, no, let me start. Okay, so we're going to start with birth number 1. Boom. Birth number 1, I was 19. If you've seen it in my previous videos or ever follow me on social media, I love babies. I love everything about babies. I am a doula. Email me if you're interested. I do virtual sessions, but also I'm willing to travel. But yeah, doula, that's my thing. That's one of my main occupations. One of my multi-talented talents, okay? And I'm damn good at it, okay? So long story short, loved everything about babies since I was younger. So, of course, even though I was 19, I was very excited that I was having my first child. I'm trying to stop popping my knuckles, y'all. If y'all pop your nipples, stop it. Nipples. If y'all pop your knuckles, stop that shit, okay? So anyways, let's get back into it. So yeah, birth number 1, I had very minimal knowledge going into it. I got epidural for my first one, probably around like 5 or 6 centimeters. And it wasn't a terrible birth. It's just I really don't remember much as far as dealing with the contractions. I honestly had no idea that I was even dealing with contractions. Because that story real quick, to put it the quickest way possible, is I was having contractions for probably about 3 days. I was chilling in my homegirl house one of the first couple of days, and her mom had came home from work, and I was crawling on all fours, like around her living room. She was like, "Paige, you better not have this baby in my living room. You better take your ass to the hospital." So, of course, being a woman, being raised by a woman and not many males around, I, listening to what the aunties say, I'm listening to what the mamas who've already had children say. And so I ended up going to the hospital literally like 3 days in a row, y'all. And I remember specifically on the second or third time, I remember the lady at the desk when you check in or whatever, she was like, "Hey," when I was leaving out, getting discharged again because nothing was happening. She stopped me when I was leaving and she was like, "Hey, I don't want to see you come back in here until you can't walk, until you can't talk." And it was just straight like auntie vibes for real. So when she said that and I'm walking out, kind of still dealing with contractions, but I wasn't really, like I said, I didn't know much about birth as I do now. So, yeah, that stuck with me the whole time. And so I remember her saying that over and over in my head that day. I think I might have smoked a little herbs or whatever to like ease the, the waves that I was having. And so that time I think finally came. I was just like, yeah, at this point I think it's getting a little, it's getting a little intense over here. So let's try to go. We both had our own cars. And so we go in one car and it breaks down, not really breaks down, but something happened where it was just like, okay, cool. I'm just glad we didn't get too far. We was literally like one exit. So we just turned back around, got our way back home to get to my car. And when we got to my car, something happened with my car. So when we had to call AAA, which, my little 96 Honda, I was real thankful at that time that I had AAA. Okay. So in all of that, I had to wait. Y'all know how long that can take, at least 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. So I'm out there just waiting on AAA to do whatever they do to get my shit back rolling or whatever. And I think, to my knowledge, because this was about 12, 13 years ago, I think it was probably out there for about an hour or so, because I do remember just walking around because that's all I really had to do. Like, I'm trying to go somewhere, so I'm just waiting on him to get done doing whatever he's doing. So I think we was just outside chilling, walking around. And at this point, it was probably about 10, 11 o'clock. So, boom, boom, bam, car get back rolling. We get there, pull up at probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And this time they go ahead, like, okay, she been back or whatever. But this time she is, I guess I was more dilated. I really don't remember much because I was just really excited just to have my own baby because I love baby so much. So, yeah. So long story short, I had my baby. I do recall him telling me that, I had to get stitched up or whatever. And knowing what I know now, I know exactly why. And this was pretty much like the same thing for birth number 2. My body basically started labor with the waves. And I had to wait for my ride to get here. But at the time, baby daddy had worked at a place where you can have your phones. And so he was there, longer than usual. So that whole time I'm literally just rolling on the ball, doing whatever can make my body comfortable at that time. And again, at this point, I still was not a doula. I was just doing what felt good to get me out of the discomfort at the time. So I probably labored by myself with a yoga ball all over the house, from the shower to the living room, probably about 4 or 5 hours. And then, like, of course, as soon as he comes to the door, I'm like, we need to go. Like, I have been waiting. So, and yes, I smoked some herb on the way there as well. Just to ease, because we ended up in traffic. That's the only reason why I was just like, look. All right. So again, not having any knowledge about birth at all, just another baby, you know what I'm saying? So that I'm excited about. So this birth was definitely a lot more intense. I ended up getting epidural at 8 centimeters though, which is where I fucked up, because I wasn't able to really feel my body letting me know when, she was ready to come, which is aka pushing, time to push. So she ended up getting stuck. That was the most traumatic birth I've ever had. Baby girl, my chocolate mermaid princess, ended up getting stuck. And it's funny because I always said she's going to have some broad shoulders like a daddy. And guess what? She got stuck because of her shoulder. Okay. But also, like, I really couldn't feel the need to push. And I just remember this lady like yelling at me, telling me, some girl, you need to push. And I think she's on the Black nursing room at the time. So of course I'm zoning in listening to her. And, I literally had, because it was just my mama and her dad there at that time. And I literally remember blinking and it was like 15 people in my room. That's when she started yelling at me. I'm like, what you talking about? I'm trying to blah, blah. And mind y'all, I was going back and forth for about an hour or so, trying not to get this epidural, because I checked into the hospital around 12 at this point. And I had made them wait a couple of hours, like back and forth in my room, like, no, I want it, I don't want it, I want it. Like I was going back and forth for a while. And then I finally was like, nah, just give me this shit. Again, had I known, I would have just did my thing. But anyways, I get to do that for other mothers now. And that's the reward in all of this. Again, this is my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay. So yeah, long story short, our homegirl was yelling at me, and it got to the point where somebody, I don't know if it was her, but they had to literally like pump my stomach to get baby girl from being stuck, her shoulder from being stuck. And I remember literally when she popped out, blood like went everywhere. And after I had the baby or whatever and set her down, my best friend had just put it on. She was like, what the? It was literally blood on the ceiling. I saw the blood hit the doctor's mask, and I'm like, oh, like wow. But like I said, they had to pump my stomach. So that was the most traumatic birth. I still didn't tear as much, probably to the same degree, but it was a light tear. So yeah, that is my, like, I think, yeah, like she got stuck, y'all. Like, wasn't like stopped breathing, got stuck because of the position that she was stuck on her shoulder. Like, they had to resuscitate my baby, and let me tell you, they could not have her. They tried to take her, but they could not have her. Okay, yes, she's going to be 10 times more powerful. All of my seeds are going to be 10 times more powerful than me, but that's another story for another day. Okay. So anyways, so yeah, that's basically the gist of my first 2 pregnancies and my first 2 births. So to get into my most recent, most beautiful, most dream come true birth ever, is my recent birth was about a year ago. This was a first in many things for me. And I really can't say it was intentional. It was more, it was intentional, but it was just like literally me following my heart. But also I had become a doula. And so working in my line of work, or I don't even like to call it work, because following my calling, I realized that, my previous births happened for a reason, so that I could learn to do something that I really wanted to love, that I really wanted to learn how to do and do. So I basically used myself as a project. So I guess you could say it was intentional, but yeah, just following my heart, my mind, and soul was my intention if I had ever gotten pregnant again. So having my last child, number 3, I had already prepped my mind, first of all, with knowledge, but then I started to prep my body, and made sure that I was a little more connected to my soul this time around. So pure magic. Like, when I say magic, baby, it's pure magic. Point blank period. That's how we gonna say. That's how we gonna say about that. Okay. Number 3. Okay. So anyways, so I had what you call a wild pregnancy. And we're going to get into a little bit of what a wild pregnancy is. Basically, a wild pregnancy is when you decide to, I'm gonna put it in long story short, is you basically just decide to birth your baby as natural as possible. We have to keep in mind that OBGYNs, that whole what do you call it? That whole genre, I'm gonna call it for right now. That whole field in particular, you know, it's only been around for a little over 100 years type stuff. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been around long enough compared to what was happening in birth prior to hospitals and OBGYN associations and stuff like that. So, for me, it was just like, you know, if my ancient ones did it, shoot, I can do it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm an Aries sun on the tropical side. So, you know, I'm always like, anything you can do, I can do better type stuff. But it's never my attitude. It's just like, you know, it's just like my child, my children. You teach us one thing, we're going to be good at it. It's just who we are, point blank, period. So, I basically use myself as a project, and I wanted to do it the most natural way possible. I initially did not want to do any ultrasounds. I only went to one or two. I only saw practitioner people in the OB's office, probably 2 or 3 times the entire pregnancy. I also took prenatals only about 1 trimester. What else? I was very intentional about what I ate, and I was very intentional about keeping my body very active. So, my main goal, like I said, was to just let my body do its thing, and to me, just listen to my body and not have anything interrupt from the beginning to the very end. And that's what I did. So, yeah, those were the basics to having a wild pregnancy. Just doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you at type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up having my wild pregnancy free birth dream, home birth. And a free birth, we're going to get into that real quick, is basically when it's just you, the baby, and your body. You have your team there still. Yes, you can still have a team with the OB. You can still have a team with your midwife, and you can still have a team with your doula if you want to. Under certain circumstances, depending on what type of birth you're trying to birth or whatever, it depends on your state laws. So, you know, do y'all thing with that. Research anything that you hear me say. Don't just take it and run with it, okay? So, disclaimer, this is for educational and inspirational purposes only. Fair Act use 107 or 17, one of those numbers. Yeah. So, we're going to get back into it. So, yeah, again, thank you for tuning in. If you're coming back, welcome back. If you're new here, thank you. I know you're going to leave with a gem or two of inspiration in some form or fashion. So you are welcome in advance. Okay. So, so yeah. So free birthing is basically absolutely no interventions at all, just letting your body do its thing. Like I said, you may or may not have a midwife or any type of access to interventions there. It's just doing the natural raw, you know what I'm saying? Real raw like shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and yes, I want a cookie. Yes, I want a cookie. Ain't nothing wrong with that because I love cookies. Okay. I love cookies. But anyways, so yeah, I had a wild pregnancy for birth, and I want to, you know, get into the fact that besides the fact that it was intentional, it was 100% spirit led. 1,000% sure, Mari. It was spirit led too. Okay. So, you know, I'll just be doing what the Most High and my ancestors and my spirit team and them be telling me what to do, because it's just what works for me. Okay. It's what works for me. Okay. So, but I'm still the same OP. Like, don't get it twisted. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. You won't find out on this here channel right here, one of the Ross channels on the tubes. Do you understand me? So we're gonna get back into it. I ain't gonna get all track. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely was set on having a home birth with maybe the water birth, the water birth, but I did change my mind last minute on the water birth just because I have preferred filtered water, and I ain't feel like doing all that pool blowing up and all that stuff. And plus, I've done that before. That cleanup, baby. Like I said, I'm gonna do it for the clients, but please don't think we just out here catching babies. Like real doulas be putting in some work on a mental, physical, emotional level. Okay, understand that we are highly worth the investment. Like, I'm talking about I feel like, at the end of the day, we should get paid up there with them, with the OBs. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there, because, baby, we be playing therapists. And I don't feel like they get paid enough. Because at one point in time, I wanted to be a therapist, but I seen how much they got paid. And I was just like, I don't think that's worth it. Taking in other people's problems. I'm a natural empath. So for me, it wasn't just listening and helping people. It was taking in other people's problems. I knew that shit wasn't worth what they was paying back then at that time when I was looking it up. I think it was like $40K. And again, when I say back then, this was probably over 10, 15 years ago when I looked this up. Because again, I wanted to be a therapist at one point as well. But top dog for me was neonatal nurse or anything that had to do with birth, labor, and delivery. I wanted to be in the room or any kind of room that shit was going on. Okay, so literally living my childhood dream life over here. Okay, okay. So, anyways, if you need a doula, somebody that need a doula, I do virtual sessions as well. Considering traveling as well. So please email down below. That's all you got to do. Reach out to your girl. Yeah, so I can make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Birthing these star seeds, this new generation, baby, because they're not coming to play. Okay. I'm one, but imagine the ones that are coming from me. Anybody, they're not here to play. They already be showing me that they're not here to play. Okay, but sometimes I gotta show them back too. After that gentle parenting, don't really do his thing. But again, another story for another day. So back to my third birth story. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the birth overall at this point. And then we're going to wrap it up. Feel free to comment below any questions y'all have. I do reply. But yeah, and let me know, if my story has inspired your story to come true as well. Okay. Who was that say make the dreams come true? Is that Disneyland? No. This is Truth Peasy land. I don't know. That was lame. But anyways, so let's just get into birth number 3. So birth number 3 was as beautiful as can be. Definitely my shortest labor. My water broke for the first time. That was something I hadn't experienced before. And that's how I was indicated that, it's time. Okay. Well, it's about to be time anyway, but I never experienced it before. So that was definitely, a cool little experience, because I wanted to feel it. I wanted to feel what it felt like for the water to break itself. So, that was probably about 9:00, and I was actually about to go to the store to get some more tools or items for the home birth, you know what I'm saying? The sheets and all of that stuff or whatever. I think it was one more little thing that I needed to get. So long story short, once that happened, I was about to do, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to go nowhere because I'd much rather have my child here at home than I would at Wally World, okay, or Target, wherever the fuck I was going that day. So, see, I'm trying to not make this super long, y'all. Okay, so, again, the most realest, rawest, rarest channel on the tubes, okay, because there will be no editing, minimal to no editing on this channel. Just remember that. So, y'all will quickly get to know me, okay? So, yeah, water broke, and at that point, I think I had been running around that day, just feeling like it was close. So I had been out majority of the day, and by that time I was like, I'm tired anyway. So after my water broke, I went and tried to lay down, and for about 2 hours I just could not fall asleep. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess that's, another sign too. Like, I really could not fall asleep for nothing. I laid there for about 2 hours. I'm going to try to get my video in of basically that I'm up to it. I'm probably just going to post it at the end, or post it separate. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Y'all will be able to see the reel that I put together of basically that whole time frame from the time my water broke up until birth. So yeah, couldn't lay down. So about 11, 12, I could tell the main reason I couldn't lay down was because stuff was getting more intense. The waves were getting more intense. So I got up. I think I might have played the game. I don't know. I got up to kill time, did something, but then I could tell my water had trickled some more. And so I'm like, okay, cool. It's just more coming out, just getting closer and closer to birth day and time. So I went, once they started getting more intense, I did my all four thing because I remembered it from my first birth. And so I initially did that. And then also, just now that I'm in my expertise, my dream job, okay. I really don't like saying job, but my dream career, okay. I knew what I knew. So I did all fours just because it's easier than two. I knew it felt good, okay. I got Poppy to do some hip squeezes for me. At this point, it was just me and him. I hadn't called anybody on my birth team, which was basically my sister and my homegirl, my doula, which is a doula as well. So at this point, like I said, it's about 11, 12. I hadn't called nobody. And I could tell they were getting more intense because the all fours wasn't working no more. So then I would bounce on the ball back and forth. And then I would get in the shower with the hot water. And then I was basically just going back and forth from the shower on the ball, blah, blah. Like going back and forth so much that I hadn't even realized that my mucus plug had already came out. And at this point, it was probably like 12:30. So in between 11 and 12, my mucus plug came out, but I had no idea. So that made sense why it was getting more intense and the all fours wasn't working no more. So after that, I think I got the hip squeezes going back and forth between the balls and the showers. I think I ended up going back to all fours just because it felt good. It felt good. So it's about 12:30. And when I tell y'all, I don't know if this is supposed to be trigger warning, TMI, whatever. When I tell y'all I've never taken a number 2 3 times in 30 minutes in my life. And I'm just like, okay, maybe this is a good time to go ahead and call the team. So at this point, I think I hit them up about 1 o'clock. And they're all at least 30 minutes away. So did nobody really get to me till about 1:45-ish, in between 1:45 and 2, which at that time I was just really, I think I was still just going back and forth between all whatever was making me feel comfortable at that point. Those were my main things that I were doing. So yeah, by the time they got there, the whole time I was just moving, whole time. And I think that really, really took my mind up off of, the intensifying. So by the time they got there, it felt I could. Okay, I'm just telling y'all how I felt. Okay, I felt like it was at its peak. Literally, by the time my sister got there, she pulled up first, and then my homegirl pulled up. And I think I just knew that this was like the peak. And then it just felt like I had to take a poop, which if you're a doula or birth worker, when any mom talking about she got a poop and she's in the process of labor and delivery, that means this baby coming. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, so I just kept saying, I got to poop. And at this point, I moved positions to sitting on the toilet facing forward, like as if you were using a bathroom. And that's all I kept saying. That's all I could keep on saying was, it feels like I have to poop, but it's not coming out. And so it was a different feeling. Like, if you're a woman, like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm just having like recollections, reminiscent memories play in my mind right now. And so anyways, so so then I've been in that position for a while, and I kept on complaining the same things. So my sister was like, do you want to change? Do you want to move around, do something different? I'm like, yeah, okay. Then my homegirl was like, because she had put up at that time, and my homegirl was like, why don't you turn around, blah, blah. And honestly, when you're in the moment, even as a doula, y'all, I couldn't think. And it was maybe because I was so focused on why the fuck do I feel like I think shit, or whatever it was. I was focused on whatever I was, but this is why it's important to have a birth team, okay? Because had my sister not said what she said, had my homegirl not said what she said, I probably would have had complications, but I didn't. Grateful to the Most High and the ancestors and the spirit guides, because if I'm divinely protected, anything that comes from my vagina is like damn near 10 times that protection. Okay, so period, just so you know. But anyways, so yeah, basically as soon as I turned around, it was like I was about to sit down, like, and actually face the toilet, but it was just like, oh, pop. And at this point, sometime between me saying I gotta take a shit and me turning around, we had sent Poppy off to go get something. I don't know what it was, but I was like, no, fuck whatever we just told him to get, tell him to come back after that pop, because that was her head coming out. And then literally as soon as he got back up there, he was right there ready to catch her, and she slid right on out. And I do not remember pushing at all. I do not remember pushing. I felt like I experienced the fetal ejection something. I forgot what it's called. I should probably know that, but y'all can look it up. But yeah, the little fetal ejection thing, it was definitely my body doing its thing, okay, and using the muscle, especially the muscle that I grew, to do what it was supposed to do, all in, smooth function. You know what I'm saying? So of course she comes out and she's like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, that's literally how I was, y'all. Oh my gosh. And my job, I'm a crybaby. Again, Aries sun on tropical side, but I'm a Pisces sun on the cereal side. But even still, I'm a crybaby, okay? You piss me off, I'm probably gonna cry. Or if it's something like super touching and super happy and celebratory, I'm probably gonna cry. Or if I'm drunk too. Specify the lituation. If I'm a little tipsy, drunk, I'm a crier. Okay, those are only times I cry for real. So this whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry during this birth, because I knew it was gonna be everything I wanted it to be. But I did not cry, y'all. I literally was just so wild. I kept saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So once I pulled her up, I walked to the bed, which I had already prepped or whatever. Check out that video if you're interested in a home birth. I got a home birth prepping video. So check that out. So yeah, long story short, let me see, making sure it's not too long. Yeah. So long story short, got to the bed, lay down with my baby, and literally just, of course, intimate. I mean, of course, immediate skin to skin. Immediate skin to skin. And we had some little covers with her, whatever, but immediate skin to skin. I was going to get my golden hour in, and I definitely wanted daddy to as well, because it's very important that the baby also gets golden hour with the daddy. Why does the baby only get the right to bond with mama at that time? Why can't daddy get it too? All I'm saying is, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. That's it. You know what I'm saying? This world anyway. So yeah. Yes, I am creating my heaven on this earth, and they mad about it. But anyways, so yeah, the placenta is what they would call in the hospitals your second baby. And so that came out within an hour. And I did do a mini lotus birth. I didn't keep it on for long. I just kept her placenta attached for probably a couple hours. And I have it stored. So yeah, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that yet. But overall, top-notch best birth ever. Okay, postpartum as well. I definitely feel like the aches from giving birth were not as intense or not as achy, I'm gonna say, as the first two. It's like when you're under the cover up of those I don't even know what you want to call it, those mixtures, you know what I'm saying, from the epidural to the Pitocin and all of that stuff. When your body is symptoms or whatever it is getting masked. That's what I'm looking for. Is getting masked by that stuff. Your body really don't know how to react properly sometimes, and that's just what it is. So I definitely feel like, because this was as natural as possible, the postpartum stage was the best postpartum ever, ache-wise, but also mentally and physically, health-wise. I had drunk a lot of teas before already, during pregnancy and after. I had a team. I had, some little light snacks and stuff like that. Stuff that, can replenish the body after doing the miraculous work that it was designed to do. Okay. So yeah. I also, I had, a little top-notch postpartum thing, you know what I'm saying? I had the full body massage after. Let me see, just superstar seat shit. You know what I'm saying? I was very well taken care of. Just having people there, and they on, your postpartum team or your birth team period will usually stay for like an hour or two, just to, make sure everything's straight before they leave, as they should. Okay. But I mean, it's just been pure bliss, because I was able to experience pure bliss in that moment. I'm gonna say it again, letting my body do what it was designed to do, and that was create. Okay. So I love being a creator, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? I don't know if I'll have more children. It's whatever is, written for my story. But just know, over here, truth be told, it will be no lies told. Okay. No more lies, no more locked doors. Okay. So I think that is the gist of everything I really wanted to say, and sharing my birth story with the world. Because again, I am doing my best to maintain alignment with my divine assignment. So, again, peace, power, and prosperity to all the real ones. And thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video that I post. Thank you. Love y'all. Peace.